Good morning, students. We continue with the lecture of short monsoon diary. Yesterday we stopped at page number 114, where the author was noticing what changes had come, what flora, fauna, what changes had come because of the monsoon. Let's continue with page number 115 from the first paragraph. A tree creeper moves rapidly up the trunk of the oak tree, snapping up insects all the way. Now that the rains are here, there is no dearth of food for the insectivorous birds. Now these birds which survive on insects, there are some birds which survive on nectar or from the flowers, some birds eat insects. So he says this particular season doesn't have any dearth of food. That means any running short of food is not to be seen over here. Continuously you can see the growth of the plants, you can see the insects crawling and the birds feeding over there. August 2nd. All night the rain has been drumming on the corrugated tin roof. Now, whenever you live on hills, you have a double layer, triple layer of roofing. You have the topmost one, a slant roof, which is usually made of tin and it's slope, and you can see the sloping roof over there, because if rain falls or snow falls, it should slide down and it will not allow it to stay over there. So when you can hear the patter of the rain, the pitter patter of the rain, then that hits the tin, so it's all, you feel like you can hear the sound of a drum. So he is comparing it to that drumming voice. And corrugated tin roof means like it's overlapping on each other and it has got a slope. There has been no storm, no thunder, just the steady swish of tropical downpour. Now swish is the continuous flow of the rain. So continuously it is falling, and it's called in accordance to the geographical term, it's called from the tropical areas, the downpour. It helps me to lie awake. At the same time, it doesn't keep me from sleeping. So lying awake, as in that sound will continuously be ringing in your ears over there, not allowing you to sleep. But the weather itself is so lethargic, not active kind of a thing, it puts you off to sleep as well. So both the phases this particular author is experiencing. It is a good sound to read by, the rain outside, the quiet within. And although the tin roofs are given to springing accountable leaks, there is a feeling of being untouched by and yet in being touched with the rain. A very beautiful paragraph to be understood thoroughly. Now he says, whenever you are alone, okay, and then you hear the sounds, you pay attention to them. So you feel there is a lot of chaos around you. You can hear a lot many sounds. But when you talk about yourself, from within you're very at peace. You are at serenity. You can feel the peace within you, because it's only your ears which are listening to the outward noises rather than the inward. So within you feel the peace because of that kind of environment. And he says the tin roofs continuously they need repairs. Sometimes they might leak and the water might get through the tin roofs and might keep dripping down in the house. So there you feel might be they are trying to intrude in your privacy, but you are again untouched, because the rain is in connection with you. The rain is connected with you as it is dripping down the roof, but still you are untouched by any outward interference. I would say any physical interference here. So it's only an element of nature which is trying to contact you rather than any physical being. August 3rd. The rain stops. The clouds begin to break up. The sun strikes the hill on my left. So now the monsoon season is coming to an end, and by the end of almost August, midweek or by 20th, I would say monsoon is gone. So he sees that the clouds are breaking up, and the dense clouds are breaking up, and the sun is shining on the hill. A woman is chopping up sticks. I hear the tinkle of cowbells. The cows are left outside to graze. So each cow or domestic cow will have a cowbell hanging on around its neck, so that they can locate that cow where it is. In the oak tree, a crow shakes the raindrops from his feathers and caws, disconsolately. So now that he has been drenched, the crow, so he's not happy about it now because the sun has risen. He shrugs off the extra water on his feathers. Water drips from a leaking drain pipe. So drain pipes are always at flow because there's a lot of water pouring in through them. And suddenly, clean and pure, the song of the whistling thrush emerges like a dark, sweet secret from the depths of the ravine. So here, you can hear the hustle and bustle of the people around in the valley. As I said earlier also, valley is inhabited because valley has got apt resources for a human being to live. So the hustle and bustle over there, now the thrush, the speed at which the life begins when the weather clears off can be heard, and then you can see activity going on in the valley. 12th of August, again, endless rain and a permanent mist again. So the weather on the mountains is unpredictable. One day you can have one thing, and if you say hour to hour, it will change. So depending upon what kind of forecast is there, it will definitely change. We haven't seen the sun for 8 or 9 days. Everything damp and soggy. So everything has become wet and absorb moisture. It is damp. It's cold. Now nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go. They have to stay indoors. Pace the room. Look out of the window at a few bobbing umbrellas. So he said, you pace the room. You keep walking in your own room because you can't go outside. It's raining heavily. And then look out of the window where you can see a few umbrellas. People carrying a few umbrellas and roaming around. At least it isn't cold rain. The hillsides are lush as late monsoon flowers begin to appear. Wild balsam, dahlias, begonias and ground orchids. These are the name of the flowers which come when the monsoon is coming to an end, when the rain is going to come to an end. 31st of August. It is the last day of August and the lush monsoon growth has reached the peak. The seeds of the cobra lily are turning red. Earlier you had seen in the picture what color was it, now it's turning red, signifying that the rains are coming to an end. In a few days the ferns will start turning yellow. Till now they were green. But now, right now, they are still firm, green and upright. So they are upright like this. That means they're going straight. And after, because the monsoon will come to an end, as soon as the monsoon will come to an end, they will turn yellow and they will wither away. Ground orchids, mauve lady's slipper, and the white butterfly orchids put on a fashion display on the grassy slopes of Landor. Landor is the place where he is living. It's a very beautiful place in Uttarakhand. And these are the names of the flowers. That's the ground orchid. Mauve is a color, something lavenderish. I can call this mauve, what I'm wearing right now. And white butterfly orchids have grown randomly on the ground, and they are displaying, they're exhibiting as if an exhibition of colors has been portrayed over there. Wild dahlias, red, yellow, magenta, rear their heads from the rocky crevices where they have taken hold. Crevices are the gaps in between mountains. So they ooze out from anywhere, wherever the seed must have been left earlier. Because it has got ample amount of rain now and humidity and sunlight, so they start springing up and they will blossom into flowers, and then we can see variety of flowers over there. So let's stop over here, and the rest of the chapter I will be teaching in my next lecture. Read the chapter till here, underline the required fields wherever information has been given which is too much into the depth of the book, from the depth of the book. So you do that, you underline that and learn till here. Good